It's a very interesting situation now. The Ukrainians have taken, as we say, large swathes of territory, and the Russians have abandoned the whole of the Kharkiv Oblast, the Kharkiv province. The Ukrainians are moving at a rate of about 20 kilometers a day. The Russians moved at the rate of about 1 kilometer a day most days. And as a result, the Ukrainians find themselves, they're in control of Izium, which was the battlefield centre of Russian operations, and they've got control of all of the areas that matter to them west of the Oskil River, and they're moving now to the east of the Oskil River. How do they do it? If we look at a satellite image, you can see the way they planned their advance. They're acting very much like a Western army. You know, the British Army have been saying for the last couple of years, we've got to get used to the idea that we stay dispersed and then come together for a major offensive, because you can't afford to be concentrated for too long on the battlefield, because if you are, then you're vulnerable. And what the Ukrainians have done, they've done exactly that. They stayed dispersed and then they moved very quickly to Balaklia. And then from Balaklia, they moved right up to Kupiansk. We didn't think that they would do it. We didn't think that they would do it so quickly. But they moved to Kupiansk, and because that's the network, it's the rail and road network for the whole area, they then moved very quickly from Kupiansk as far as Vovchansk, right up in the north, and right down to the south to Izium and Svyatogorsk. And they didn't only do it in one line, they also did it by other attacks. They were working on encirclement attacks. And so they've behaved very much like a Western army. And the result of that now, of course, is that they get the choice as to what to do next, as to whether to keep on going into the Donbass, to actually they're at Belahorivka, which means that they're very close to Lysychansk, and they might be able to attack that and get that back after losing it a few weeks ago, or they might consolidate there and move further south. And then if we look down at the southwest, what's happening around Kherson? The movement there isn't quite as rapid as this, but it's beginning to be. The Russian forces are under pressure in Kherson. At Tomyabalka, down in the southwest, just southwest of the city itself, and this long front that they opened up at Snehorivka, which is northwest of Kherson. They're making a big inroad there. Russian forces in general are under great pressure in this area, and there are reports, so far unconfirmed, but some of them are coming from Ukrainian Southern Command, that Russian forces in the north are out of ammunition and are beginning to try to negotiate local surrenders. We'll see if that happens. It's not yet confirmed. Maybe not. How has Russia reacted to all of this? Well, President Putin, so far, has said nothing, absolutely nothing. They've sacked the local general, Berdnikov. He's been in post since the 26th of August. He didn't last very long, so he's been sacked. It's not clear who will take over from him. Mr. Putin doesn't seem yet to be trying to reinforce his forces. He may not be able to, and we're all wondering whether the Russians will be able to reinforce these two fronts that are beginning to collapse. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. So far, it's not clear that they found a defensive line that they can really stick to. At some point, they'll dig in. At some point, the Ukrainian offensive will run out of steam. But one thing we're certain about is that from now until the weather turns bad, the Ukrainians are now calling the shots.